are you ready to review Moon Knight? Yeah, look at you. You like the Moon Knight, don't ya? Hey there, Skeletor and Izzy here. And we just finished watching the first episode of Moon Knight. It's a thing. Real fast, spoiler-free review. First episode's alright. If you know nothing about him from the comics, it's probably even better. It's definitely worth a watch. I'm gonna give it a couple more episodes before I make a real final judgment, but that first episode's okay. I've definitely seen worse. Check it out. It's Moon Knight. Spoiler-free review done. Let's talk about the goldfish problem. So, right off the bat, like, ignoring plot or anything like that. What? There is a disgusting amount of CGI in episode 1. I'm hoping the entire series ain't gonna be like that, but whew. I kind of thought maybe Moon Knight's costume would be an actual costume and not just a guy in a green suit. Because that's what he looks like. Like, it's just a person in a green suit, and then they CGI'd the outfit on top of him. And I understand sometimes shows or movies will use CGI for a cape. Like, Batman vs. Superman or Justice League. Like, Batman's cape was CGI'd into pretty much every single shot there. Because if you look at the behind-the-scenes stuff, it's very much just Ben Affleck in a suit without a cape. But that's okay. That lets you do more of the flowing comic book looking kind of thing. You know, that's fine. Oscar Poe, Finn, he returned guy.
We've decoded the intel from the First Order spy, and it confirms the worst. Somehow Palpatine returned.
He does a pretty good job in this. At first, I didn't like his character, and then I remembered, oh yeah, this isn't him. He's actually acting. He's doing such a good job that I hate him, which actually made me like him. Izzy was pretty indifferent to the entire thing. He plays the character of Steve. Steve is the audience stand-in. And, you know, we're welcomed into the world of, well, not welcome, we're just shoved into the deep end. Steve is disgustingly British.
This is terribly awkward, but I wanted to tell you something, but I seem to be so charmingly befuddled.
Disgustingly. In fact, this actually kind of like bugged me about the whole show. Everyone is just so kind of plays into the British stereotype of the men being mousy and cowardly, and the women are just mean, nagging, spiteful slags. Then again, I don't know, I was thinking about this, like Marvel kind of caters, I mean, Marvel movies and TV shows are kind of meant for an international audience. I suppose they're catering more towards the Chinese audience, but honestly, you do get a lot of stereotypes with this, and I feel like everything British we see in episode 1 here is very much a stereotype. That kind of took me out of it. So we're introduced to Steve, and it's just some weird stuff right off the bat. Ring of sand around his bed. He's strapped to his bed by his foot. Tape on the door. We get a quick look at Steve's life. He's a curator? No. He sells sweets at the gift shop in a museum. Seems very Egyptian themed. I'm sure it's a museum for, like, you know, just history in general, but we really see a lot of Egyptian stuff right off the bat. It's going to be a very Egyptian themed show. And we start developing some problems. Like, it kind of seems like when he falls asleep, stuff happens, which would explain why he is strapped to the bed, wakes up in strange places and strange situations. Honestly, it feels like the show starts in the middle of a mission or something. But because we're introduced to everything through the Steven character, who's supposed to be Moon Knight's civilian ID, it's a mystery as to what's going on. You figure it out by the end of the episode, but long story short, Moon Knight's crazy. He just creates split personalities. Like, he's had government training. He knows how to create split personalities, to compartmentalize information. So Steven, the civilian ID, has no idea about Moon Knight at all, or anything else. And Moon Knight specifically created Steven so that he could hide. It makes sense when you say it like that, but when you don't know what's going on and you're trying to figure it out as the episode goes along, it's confusing. It's interesting though. I don't care that much for Moon Knight, honestly. My extension of knowledge of him is his appearances in Ultimate Spider-Man, and then him and Black Widow teaming up in Age of Ultron. Didn't much care for that side plot. That was boring. Honestly, the whole Age of Ultron event was just kind of a giant what the fuck. Interesting idea, poorly executed. Alright, so he's not name dropped, but we do see Moon Knight's god, Konsho. I've only seen it written. I've never heard it pronounced. And he gets into a fight at the end. It's a giant hairless naked cat. It's a hairless cat. They're ugly and scary on their own, and this thing is like 7 feet tall. It's a very odd choice to go with, but alright, cool. Also, there's a bad guy named Arthur. Seems to be some kind of prophet, or... I mean, he's an avatar. Moon Knight is the avatar of the moon god. I don't know what Arthur's the avatar of. Summonet? Salmon Ra. Salmonella. And clearly he's the bad guy. He's bad guy leader. He's okay. Honestly, I need to give this a few more episodes to really make a judgment at this point. It's interesting enough. I'm not just gonna drop it. Part of it is behind the scenes. They have said that this has no connection to the MCU. It takes place in the MCU, but it has no connection to it. Like this, if you were somehow ignorant of the last, like, 12 years of movies, Moon Knight could be your jumping in point, and you wouldn't really be missing anything. I'm sure that whatever's relevant will be explained later on, but Moon Knight itself will be self-contained. I'm sure they're gonna go for a Midnight Sun thing, because they're gonna be doing a Blade movie. So this whole Phase 4 thing seems to be relatively fresh, like a jumping point. I don't know. It's just all so tiresome. I don't know, man. Growing up, I just wanted Spider-Man movies. Or, you know, cool superhero movies. And now I'm getting them. I just keep getting them. It just doesn't stop. Cowboys were a thing for a long time. And then outer space stuff became cool for a while everything was all vampires, and then it was all zombies. Now it's just all superheroes. And it doesn't stop being superheroes. The finger on the monkey's paw curls, and I don't quite know how to feel about it. Oh, 1 to 5, I'd give episode 1 of Moon Knight a 3. It would be a 5, but again, it's disgustingly British and way too much CGI. It actually kind of dragged me out of the whole thing. For ZeitgeistOG, I've been Skeletor, he was Izzy, Fat Man somewhere around here, and there are other videos. Check those out. Catch you later.